I don't know if someone is not a Ghanaian, but we know that sanitation and water is a very critical issue with us, and especially in Greater Accra, which happens to be the capital city of the country because of the population density and the desire or the urge to, make better living. People move to that place and they have issues with housing and stuff. So, in using causal inference, you need to get a policy that um, creates a sort of randomization so that it divides people or a group of people into treatment and untreated. So I was looking at, okay, what can make the people of Ghana, like people to be in treated group and other people not to be in treated groups. So I realized that the Gamma project was only done in Greater Accra, but not in other regions. So then I'll use the Greater Accra as my treatment group, and other regions will be my comparable group, or like what we call the control group. So as you see, the topic.
Battles, before you continue, please. You mentioned the Gamma project. I think most of our listeners would like to know, is it like what's the Gamma project?
Okay, so the Gamma project, it's like abbreviation for Greater Accra Metropolitan Area Water and Sanitation Project. So it's a project that was done in Greater Accra area to help curb water issues and sanitation issues in that area. So it's not anything that is out of blue. It's just giving the name of that area to the project. So when you hear Gamma, it's basically Greater Accra Metropolitan Area Water and Sanitation Project in Ghana. And I realized that in literature there have been a lot of work done on sanitation, on health, because what actually comes in mind is like, what will sanitation do to human being? It will affect your health. It will improve your health and those things. So I was thinking of, what if sanitation has more effect than the health that we always talk of? So I was thinking of labor participation, labor force, and productivity. But since it was difficult for me to get access to data, I decided to use what the data has and to make maximum use of it, because some of the data or surveys that are conducted in Ghana, they don't basically ask for hours that you used to work. So I can't use that as my outcome variable. So that's why I use time to fresh water. And I use time to fresh water because have experienced that phenomenon that you need to walk to a water source like a pipe-borne, a standpipe or something to fetch water, then you come back before you come and do anything or go back to school or go back to work. So I was actually trying to analyze how that project affects that time. Can that time be used to do other productive work or anything that can generate income for the individual? So my core aim of using that time to fresh water is just to, and it's like an intermediary effect. So if that project reduces time to fresh water, productivity is going to increase because people have more access to what other productive avenues, like they have more time to go to school, they have more time to do childcare, they have more time to go to their work and do anything that will make their life improve. So my data source is coming from Demographic Health Surveys, which is DHS, and it is conducted by Ghana Statistical Service in relation with the ICF and USAID. And due to the cuts of the USAID fund and stuff, it was very difficult getting access to the data, and some of the data were not available. So I used what was available, which was a sample for married women. So my unit of analysis is married women. Yeah.
Okay, but before you continue, you mentioned the USAID. Did you mean that like the USAID, the cutting of the recent USAID by the current Trump administration had effect on availability, getting access to data? How
Yeah.
huge was the impact? Like, can you explain a bit further from what you found?
Um, the thing is, like, although it is Ghana Statistical Service that conducts these surveys, they had a monetary fund and collaboration
Yeah,
with these World Bank, ICF, and the USAID.
that's
And
true. Yeah.
USAID, they are the ones that make the data available for us to use. Although you can get the data from the GSS website, but when you go there, for 2023, 2022 data set, it wasn't available. It was only the married women sample. And when I tried to use the USA, they have other collaborative agency, IPUMS. They told me that because of this Trump, this thing, they are not making any access to that data for some time now. So
Okay,
I
okay,
think,
that one is understood. Yeah.
yeah, so it really affected my analysis because I wanted to do both for household level, individual children, and other stuff. Since all the data is not available, I couldn't do that. And it has really affected doing research and stuff related to developing countries. And it is not only about their money that comes into our country, but getting access to our data also to make informed decisions as well.
That's,
Yeah.
thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that. And so we'll allow you to continue with your presentation. Uh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so as I was talking about the data source and stuff, so after getting the data, I needed to think about the
So
empirical strategy.
before sorry about that. I think Vanessa
Okay.
is telling us that DHA's data is available, so you can revisit it again in case you want to improve upon the work that you've done already. I think maybe you can have a second look at it, and hopefully you'll be able to inculcate all the other important variables that
Mhm.
you were talking about. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, I recently checked when I was completing my master's paper, and it shows that it is there, but when I actually sent request to the GSS to get access to that data, but when you open, it is not opening, it is not there. The only sub-sample data that is available is a married women sample. That is the ready,
Okay.
ready data. As we speak, if the other sub-sample data is available. So then that's a good one. I'll check up on that too.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
in economics, basically we don't do a lot of qualitative analysis because we just want to back everything that we do by data, by facts, so that when we say that GDP has increased, what has, like, by how much. So in doing that, I needed to use a quantitative method in analyzing the data. So I decided to use difference and differences because using regression discontinuity, instrumental variable wouldn't work in difference in difference just creates counterfactual and what actually happened, and it will just help me to do my analysis with the data that I have. So the main goal was just use DID, get my effect of the water and sanitation project on time spent fetching water, and
Okay.
also make some policy evaluation or some feedbacks there. So I have the whole write up there, and I said a lot of stuff in there. So if
Yeah,
anyone thinks
that's
that,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would make that possible. So the first the data, and it was a whole lot for me because with the data, getting access to the data, merging them, using, it was a lot, but then I really want to thank Oga Roosevelt Yeah, he helped me. He helped me
Yeah,
one time with the measurement of the data, and I think Caleb too was there for me, giving me some
okay.
insights. And
Yeah, I mean,
Caleb,
if any of you are wondering who is Oga and Caleb, they were all TAs at the economics
yeah,
department at KNUST, and they are all members of Economics Weekly. So going forward, if you are struggling with your data and if you need any help, if you contact any of the admins in Economics Weekly WhatsApp page, I will be glad to help you out. Yeah. So, Battles,
yeah,
please continue. Yeah.
they are so helpful.
So, Battles, please, before you continue, I think there is a way that you can use the full screen option. There is a full screen option closer to the settings button, right? If you can click on it for us, I think it will allow you to use the full screen. Just closer to the settings. No, closer to the edit with Acrobat, if you see that one. Uh, I think closer to the settings, yeah, that one. Yeah, click on that and let's see. Yes. So please continue. Yeah. So thank you, Kingsford. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Mm, yeah,
Will you be able to control it? Okay.
yeah.
Okay, go on. Go on, please.
So I was
Okay.
talking about the data preparation in data, and since I was using multiple survey rounds, so with the GHS, they do it in so they started in 1990 something. At first, it's supposed to be like 4 years, every 4 years or something. So there are previous data on that. So I started from 2003, then you have 2008, then you have 2014, then 2022 and 2023. It's a combined data set for that because they started later, October 2022, then they ended in January 2023. And so, oh shit, sorry. And I've written some code for the merging of the data. So in STATA, before you start your work, I maybe I can share my STATA screen as well. Would that be possible?
Yeah, if it is possible, please. Yeah. Yeah. But I'll advise that we don't spend much time on the data preparation because getting insight into your results is I think will be much more important to this meeting
Yeah.
than how we're able to prepare the data. Yes, if that's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will just go over it.
Yeah, I
Just
think you should just go over it and just go to
so
the
in data, when you
results.
open it, you just open the first data or the master data set. That's what we call. So let's say you
Yeah.
have 2023 data set. So you issue the command to open. Mostly I use the command tabs on the top of the data. So you open the data, then you use merge one to one or one to many, but it is not advisable to use many to many because it just multiply the data set that you have. So it's duplicates.
Yeah,
So you
that's
have
true.
more of it. So if you are merging data, it is advisable to use either one to one or one to many. You don't do many to many. It will just
Yeah.
make things complicated for you. And before you merge, you have to get a unique identifier. So mostly they use household ID or cluster number or household number to identify individual with their observational data that we have. And you merge that using your second data. So most the second data is called the using data. So the first data is a master data and the second data is using data. So you merge it, then you make sure to drop merge data because when you merge it, it will create a report for you for the data. So you have to drop that merge data and mostly we keep the number 3, which which shows the number of observation that was able to merge successfully. And so you keep that one and you use it continuously until you get to the end of your data set. So mine is to the end of 2022. Then after you have finished merging it, you save it where either on your desktop, on your document, or in STATA. you just use the save command, or you type save, then the name that you want to give to the data set, then you replace it with comma replace here. So after you have prepared your data, you have gotten everything that you want. Now you go into the data set, you try what the data is saying. So mostly you can use code book. When you use this command in STATA code book, it gives you the details of your data set, the average, everything, variable names and stuff, so that you know what is happening in the data set, because he didn't create the data. So you have to have information about the data, what the data is about, the sample size, the observational number. So you use code book to get that. And after you have gotten to know your data set, you have prepped everything, you have known your key variables. So in my case, my key
Yeah,
variable was
Bartels, we will not like to extend the data preparation a bit further, but then I think there's an important question from Vanessa. She was
okay.
asking, was the merge code used to put together the several waves? And if she said she thought the DHS follows different women over time, why not just append them and just move on? If you can have a read on a message, can you see the message that Vanessa sent?
No.
She was asking if you use the merge code to put together the several ways. Vanessa, I think you can come in and ask her the question.
Yeah, because
Okay.
DHS follows like different women over time, and when you
Yeah.
want to like conduct an analysis, I thought with merge, it's like you're assuming we have the same women, like we're following the same women. But since these are like different women in the different ways, with cross-sectional analysis to conduct pool analysis, what I know is that we append, but I just don't know the logic for the merge. That's why I asked the question. So like if we could.
Okay, so with the DHS, yes, it is cross-sectional data, but then it is conducted yearly, as in this, the time that they conduct it. So most it is called repeated data. So it's kind of not panel, but it's just between, cross-sectional and panel data. So the reason why I wasn't using append, it's I don't have unique identifier for every data set. Do you get it? I need to add a lot of
Okay.
identifier to, even for the first data set, there was a unique identifier that is using the household number and cluster number. But when you go to the second data set, the unique identifier is different. So it doesn't cut across them.
Yeah.
It doesn't cut across them, yeah.
I think we are having a lot of questions on the data preparation, which I think we will just extend the time that we have. So, Matthias, I will plead with you if you can just tell us what's your baseline DID specification, if you can talk about the controls and the fixed effects and how you handle the standard errors going forward. I think so that we can, make progress with the presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, so with my treatment group, as I said earlier on, it's basically centered on the married women in Greater Accra region, where the project was, implemented. And I use the whole region because in the DHS data, it didn't specify that this person is in Greater Accra Metropolitan or outside Greater Accra Metropolitan. So it was very difficult pinpointing the actual individuals who benefited from the intention to treat, because in the treated region, it comprises of people who enjoy the project and people who didn't. So it's like they are all combined. I can't isolate each, like the actual benefactors from the project from the other people. So the treatment group is all married women in Greater Accra region, and the comparison group is other women in other regions, so like Ashanti, Western, Cape Coast, and stuff. And in DID, you need to get post and pre-treatment period. And when you talk period, like period before the project implementation. So according to the documentation of the Gamma project, it started in 2015. The first phase was started in 2015. So it means that my pre-treatment period will be like before 2015, and my post-treatment period will be after 2015. So now I had to code it in STATA using this command that post. So I generate a variable called post, which creates this, it's like a dummy, 10. So if it is before 2015, it is 0. And if it is after 2015, it is 1. And with my treatment group, if it is greater Accra region, it is 1. And then if it is other region, it is 0. So these two key variables are important in my regression analysis because that would determine the effect of that project on time to fresh water. So the combined interaction with the post and the treated variable will give me the effect of that project. I hope that
yeah, but thank you so much. That
clear.
is really helpful. I mean, if you can just go straight into the maybe the estimate and just try and show us what you got for the results, that would be really helpful so that you can take us from there. Thank you so much.
Okay.
If it's not working, maybe you can just go back to the small screen. Okay, you are trying to run the data. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So this is
Okay.
actually my STATA file, and it is advisable to create a do file, which will help you
That's
to
very
replicate
important.
your estimates and stuff. So this is actually my do file and everything, and it's just running the regression for us.
Yeah.
So I use log using and log close. Let me put it across. Before you start inputting your code in your do file, please use log using because it saves everything, your graph, everything. So the moment you open your do file and you click on like run your do file, it just do everything for you. So you'll be able to check your mistakes, check your estimates and stuff over time.
That's true.
Yeah, so this is in STATA. So this is my estimate. I did a lot of analysis.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so this is the first analysis that I did. So you could see that there is DID here, DID, which is basically the interaction between the post and the treated variable. So the coefficient here tells us how much the project impacted time. So here it shows that the project reduced time to fresh water by 0.79, which is like 0.8 seconds. And the standard error is very large, and the confidence intervals is like ranging from negative to positive. So it's like it's not stable. That's why we are not getting much from the coefficient due to the data set is actually flawed and there are a lot of things with that. So my estimate here, it doesn't really say that the Gamma project really reduced time because when we check of the p-value, it is not significant. It is not significant. And in economics, if you don't have significant value, it is actually difficult making explanation, but it is not really difficult. You don't really have to get significant values all the time because of there is data flaws and stuff. But in statistical sense, the negative here, it's making sense, or in economics,
Charles, before you
possible.
continue, I think this was even a question that I wanted to ask you about the trends. I think Japan wanted to know how did you ensure that the common trend assumption between the treated and the control groups was met? I think this was something that we spoke about yesterday. He said, how did you
Yeah.
ensure that the common trend assumption between the treated and the control groups was met? If you can,
Steady plot. I hope you are seeing it. Yeah.
yes,
So with the para trends, it basically says that um, both the treated and the untreated group would have followed the same pattern of time to fresh water if the project wasn't implemented. So it means that before the implementation of the project, they have a para trend. So it's like if they are going down, they are going down in the same trend. If they are going up, they are going up in the same trend. So let me run this. So before I started my analysis, the DID, I needed to run some averages of the time to fresh water. I mean, in both treated and untreated region. And this is how the graph looks like. Yeah. So in the power trends, it's like this. You see, when the red line is for the untreated regions, and the blue line is for the treated region, which is Greater Accra. So before the implementation of the project, which is 2015, you could see that time to fresh water and within both regions are moving in the same direction. So it means that the project would cause the difference here, but after the project, it seems that they are still, it doesn't really look like paras compared to this. So the para trends, it's kind of, I don't know how to say it. You
maybe
can't really
like
test it. You can't really test it in natural sense or using data, but then we make plausibility that, oh, since this group of people are behaving in this manner, they are similar in this way. And the only difference that we are seeing after the project is attributed to what the project did to them. Please, do you get that one?
Ejapon, does that answer your question? Maybe I was thinking that maybe if it was not met, maybe there were some sensitivity analysis that you did to actually confirm maybe if it was truly met or not. But Ejapon, if that answered your question, maybe I think Battles, you can move forward and maybe just talk about the policy takeaways so that we can see, if there are further questions. Yeah.
So with the policy takeaway, I realized that the reason why my estimates were not really large is because sanitation is actually a bigger issue in Ghana, and it's and all over the regions, like people are facing this issue. So there have been a concurrent like wash programs in the country, and when there are a lot of programs happening, it confounds your estimate. So like we have rural sanitation programs in Ghana, which also like provides either access to water or toilet facility to people. So it is not only Greater Accra that is experiencing this water and sanitation projects.
Before you go, I wanted to even ask you the same question. Like when you mentioned about the Greater Accra Metropolitan, so I was like, in your research, did you find that maybe some rural areas too were having this kind of projects, or maybe was it like only the municipal areas in both the Greater Accra and the Greater Kumasi regions?
Oh, so I did that search, and since in DID you needed to get a policy that is happening at a particular place and not the other.
Okay, that's
So
cool.
if the Gamma project was done in Greater Accra and it's not done in other regions, I can't use another program that is being done in other regions to do the analysis. Just that if the same project is also done in other regions, then it wouldn't be advisable to use difference in differences for it. So the underlying goal for using the difference in differences mention is only implemented in a particular
Yeah, so
area
I mean,
and not
Kingsford
the other.
is asking a follow-up question that so you use Accra as your treated group. I think you mentioned that, right?
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
used
yeah.
Accra
So
as your,
the married
yes, I
women
think
in
you,
Greater Accra were my treated group, and
yeah,
married women in other
other
regions.
regions.
Yeah. And
Okay.
let me also say that I wanted to know the sensitiveness of my estimate. So I did some robustness check on it. So I realized that Greater Accra is more urban than other regions. It has like 90% urban rate. So then I needed to, regroup my control group. So I um I brought the control group to only regions that come close the 90% urban rate, like Greater Ashanti region and region.
Okay.
For
Okay,
them
I
to
think
they
Oga
have
was asking whether the program was a selection on observables or on it. I think it was, I think someone has answered that question. Just continue, please.
yeah. So I did some subgroup population analysis. So I restricted the control group to only regions that have some urban characteristics that is likely to Greater Accra, but it's not the same because Ashanti region and Central region were having like population density or like urban rates of 50 or 60%. But I was thinking they come close down Northern region, which is like 20% or 30%.
Yeah,
So that was
that's
even
the problem.
confounding my estimates more. So when I use Ashanti and Central region as my control group with the Greater Accra as the treated group, the estimate actually reduced to negative 2.2 minutes. So it means that, you see, when you use two comparable regions, it gives you more like estimates that is meaningful because you can't compare Greater Accra with Northern region. They don't have the same features as
Okay,
that.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, but in all the same, the estimates were not significant. One due to data set, the DHS data that I used, I wasn't able to get people who really got access to the water project. So it's like it was including like people who didn't get access, people. So that differences was not there, and the sample size was also small. So if you have few observations, your significant level would be very low because it's just some small observation that you have. So no matter what you do, you wouldn't get meaningful.
So in that sense, are you giving like practical advice for like further research if someone wants to, I mean, how do you advise if someone wants to conduct this research again to what should the person do to be able to get some significant results given your observations so far?
So with my observation with DHS data, if you want to do urban analysis, it is not advisable to use DHS data because with their documentary, it states that they oversample rural areas.
Okay.
So if you are using DHS data for your analysis and it is urban analysis, you wouldn't get enough sample size for your urban analysis. That was the case with my master project because uh, they do a lot of survey from the rural areas, not from the urban areas. And also, I would also say that if you want to do analysis in water, sanitation, you can look at mixed data by UNICEF. They have a lot of variables like who are the people fetching the water on premises, and they have key issues on like health, diarrhea, and other stuff. So I was even planning on using the mixed data, combining this data set to also know the effect of sanitation on health and labor outcomes as well. And there is another hub, I think it is in Legon. It's a panel data. I don't know the full socioeconomic panel data. For them
So
too, they
is it the
have like
ISSER or something like that?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
ISSER.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if you are looking for data avenues, you can also check them because they have it's more of, if you are doing economic analysis, you can get a lot of variables from your data set. But
Okay.
the bad thing is
I think
like
Vanessa also mentioned that we have the Ghana Socioeconomic Panel survey data.
yes,
The Ghana, yes, so that one too is
just that
really
they have few runs, few
okay.
survey runs. So it's like 2 to 3 years. So if you want to do long analysis, you wouldn't have enough data set. But if it's just cross-sectional analysis that you want to do, it is advisable to use that data set. And I also think we are not making impact on our country because our data is
Yeah, there is a problem with
yeah,
it. That's one good thing about the United States. Almost everything that you want to do, there is like almost always data available
yes.
for the but as I don't want to cut you, but then if you give me some 2 3 minutes, I wanted we have a very important guest, the Kingsford Oyina, to maybe say some few words, maybe his observation about your presentation, and if he has
Okay.
anything to say regarding what we can do to make sure that I mean, we do better and hopefully get significant results in the future when we want to conduct research like this. Then after that, you give us your conclusion remarks or concluding remarks. Yeah. Please, Kingsford, if you are still there, can you say something? I don't know what. Okay, he's still there. Okay, thank you. Yes, you are on. Please, if you can say something. Yeah, you are on.
All right.
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Anyway,
it's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
yeah, it's a great project, and I also like the idea. This is my first time seeing, seeing your post on LinkedIn regarding this event. I think myself and Vanessa, we have something similar cooking, but we've been on break for a while. It's an interesting project that she's doing, and I believe I don't know if most of your panelists are still in Ghana or are they in US, but regardless, wherever you are, this is a great
Oh yeah, so most of our panelists are both in Ghana and US. We have like an equal number of students who are both in Ghana and in the US. Yeah, and some are in Canada and some are in the UK, like Vanessa too. Yeah.
fantastic, fantastic. Then it's a great opportunity that you guys are having right now. So I hope you guys are able to exploit or use this very well. My only concern is regarding, I think Vanessa raised a very good point. So the DHS is not like a panel data, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't follow the same set of individuals. So regarding the issue of whether appending or merging, I think it is a key point. I mean, we live to learn every day. But from my basic knowledge, we merge when we have panel data. That is when we are following same set of individuals over time. And then we
Okay.
append when we have
Okay.
different sort of individuals, but the survey was repeated in the respective years that we are considering. But interestingly, even whether when you append or merge, you can still do your DID,
Okay.
Yeah.
right? And then secondly, regarding the DID, and because she had just one area that was treated into synthetic control method, which can create
Please,
for
Kingsford,
you.
I think I lost you on before because she had only one area. I think I don't know whether it was only at my end. If you can repeat that again.
Yeah, because she had only one area that was treated according to her assumption that she created. You can look into what we call synthetic control method, which will create a synthetic counterfactual areas that are likely to be affected by the policy in Ghana, which in this case, I would say it might be a good robustness check or even be the first analysis you would do before you do the DID. And
Mm.
then work on the append to, and let's see, try and do that, and let's see that how the analysis tool will change. But it is a promising project. Just as you said, Ghana is there's always a problem. But the GSPS, that's the Ghana Socioeconomic Panel, which my Vanessa recommended here. It began from 2009, and currently they have the wave, I think wave 5, but they have to release it. It might also be a rich addition that you might want to consider, or even the GLSS. I mean, the gold standard. They are all available, which you might get some of the good variables, some, interesting variables. But yeah, if you are listening to, there are also recent developments in the DID techniques, especially if you're interested in implementing some of these methods. We have what we call the staggered DID. That is
Yeah,
when a
yeah,
policy
true.
is rolled out in different, period of time, that is multiple time period. Assuming the policy that she talked about was implemented in Ghana, but its implementation was rolled out in different point of time, you
Mm.
can't do the conventional DID that Elizabeth presented. You would want to start looking at the post 2021 papers by Callaway and Santana. Sorry, Callaway and Santana, Gardner. There are so many DID techniques right now. So many.
Just for not to cut you, but then regarding the staggered DID, we actually have a presentation which will be coming in, some few weeks time on staggered DID by one of our panelists very soon.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Mm.
This is a
yeah,
great how do you call it? Opportunity. I like how you blend the presentation with that. But my only advice, I don't know if it's advice or whatever, will be I like how maybe if you can blend it like theory of the method and then
mhm,
the STATA implementation, then your paper, you just summarize it. I don't know. That's just
okay,
my comment on that. Let's say this is how we implement it. This is how I use it in a quick summary. And I think in today's session,
that's true.
series you should be fine. Yeah. Thank you,
That's true.
Mazuk, right?
Yeah. Yes, it's
Okay.
Mazuk. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. So, guys, before Battles give a concluding remarks, if you have any observation or any thing that you want to add before she you can just raise your hand and I will just allow you to say something before I go. Are we all good? I think Battles, they want you to give your concluding remarks, right? Guys,
No.
any? Okay, I think okay. You are good to go. Yes. Just give us your concluding remarks and then we'll end
Oh,
it here. Yes.
thank you, kids, for it for
Yeah.
that insight. Yes, I was actually looking into synthetic control method, but there is also a pitfall with be done with time series. It doesn't use like survey data and stuff. It has to be continuous, like 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. If there are gaps in between the years that you are looking into, it's very difficult to use the CCM data because um, it mostly goes with panel data, and you have to make sure that your data is balanced. And I can't do that with survey data, or we can't do that with survey data. So synthetic control method is also an causal inference, but it also has its own uh, pitfalls
Pitfalls. Okay.
with survey data. And uh, in concluding, it's very interesting and amazing to be on this, and kind of I'm mostly I want to be in my corner. I don't like being
Yeah, I
here.
told you guys that she was really humble, right? That's Battles. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's nice to talk to people and
Yeah.
talk about what you are passionate about. And
That's true.
I believe we have a lot of potential as people coming up and will do great for Ghana. And when you come to UK, US, and you are being asked to do a research, don't think like, oh, Ghana, you don't have data, so wouldn't. We need you people to look into our issues, because if you are focused on issues like international issues or like well-developed countries, who would develop our country for us? So yeah, it's a call for all of us, whether you are a financial economist, health economist. We have a lot of issues in our country, and even if you don't want to do Ghana, there are a lot of African countries that you can look into. And uh, thank
Okay,
you. I want to
Battles, thank you,
say
thank you too so much. We really appreciate you. So, guys, before we end, as we promised, so God willing, next week we are going to bring to you the Canada experience. Battles, a lot of people are congratulating you on a very good presentation. We really appreciate you.
oh,
Thank you so
thank
much
you.
for the presentation. Sami is saying that's a great presentation, and Ejapon is saying wonderful presentation with relevant insights. Vanessa is saying well done, Elizabeth, and I'm saying well
Thank
done,
you, people.
Elizabeth. Thank you so much, and hopefully when you improve upon the work, we'll invite you again so that you can come and share some of your results with us. So, guys, hopefully next week we'll talk about the Canada experience from admission to visa approval. We are going to have Nana says upon and also a colleague of ours by the name of Philip. So we hope to see you guys join us next week. Then the following week, we are going to have some status seminar too, hopefully with another student from KNUST. So thank you so much. Thank you all for joining, and I wish you a great weekend. Thank you so much. Oga is saying nice presentation, although you joined late. So guys, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Okay. So thanks for the opportunity, Marazuki. You're most welcome. Rain. I don't know who Rain is, but thank you. You're most welcome. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you.